If you've been following this mini series on improvisation on the violin, you have built something this week. A one-note exercise, a melody conversation, a pentatonic vocabulary, a pattern toolkit, and exploiting your scales into a modal palette of colors and emotion. That is real foundation for improvisation, no matter what style you play, and honestly, on any instrument, not just the violin. So feel free to share it with your friends. Today, I want to put it all in one place and show you what the full picture looks like so that you can have a checklist, a reference tool. You can come back here and make sure you're putting together all the pieces and having fun while you're doing it. If we haven't met yet, I'm EP Archer, and I help committed adults to play the violin with a beautiful sound and unshakable confidence. And this week's inspiration was not just about people who want to play jazz or learn how to do a rock solo on the violin or want to learn how to improvise in general. These tools and this course is for you to be able to have fun practicing, for you to be able to understand the music differently because you're able to get inside it. And I'm wondering, has anything that you've heard so far surprised you? Has improvisation felt a little bit more accessible than you expected? I mean, who thought you could just improvise with one note? And the benefit to doing that stretches how you're thinking and how you're feeling and the way you're playing that note, how connected you are to that note in your body. And that's something we can't really gain from just our head knowledge. We have to be playing, be inside our bodies and be inside the music, and we find a wealth of beautiful connection. I'm wondering, do you have a clearer sense now of where you can start with improvisation? I think that's one of the hardest things. Let's make something up. What? I don't know. Shoot, where do I start, right? And so wherever you are in your training of your instrument and wherever you are in your listening skills and what you know and what you've heard and what you like and what you're pursuing with desire, that can be a starting point. You don't have to wait until you have 3, 5, 10, 20 years of experience. In fact, people with more experience tend to hesitate more because all the things they know are now getting in the way instead of leading them down a clear path. Wouldn't it be amazing to see all of this demonstrated, to hear what it sounds like, to see it on a violin, and to be able to really apply this? And what if that demonstration was waiting for you for free in a community of adults doing the exact same thing? Well, I'd like to invite you to my free improvisation course. Stay tuned to the end. I'm going to drop the link here in this podcast, and I'm also going to put it in the description. You can always find me on Facebook, EP Archer Music. So facebook.com/EP Archer Music. And our group is Violin Unlocked. And you can find us on facebook.com/group/adult violin. I cannot absolutely wait for everything that we're launching, and I want you to get it absolutely free. So let's go over all the tools so you have a checklist. We have 5 different tools, and then we have all of the amazing ways we can put them together. So here's our recap. Get your pen and pencil if you missed this series. Tool number 1 is one note. It starts with a note, your presence, your feeling, your silence in between the rhythms that you play, your intention, your intonation, your tone, your resonance, your connection with that note to the harmony being played, that note to a rhythm, that note to an ascending or descending pattern or scale. When you force yourself to play only one note for an extended period of time, I don't mean one measure, girl, I mean like get that one note. And then once you've been with it at least 2 minutes, then start shifting the octave, then play that same note in a different register, in a different position, with vibrato, without vibrato, with a slick, fast bow stroke, with a trudging, sticky bow stroke. There are so many things you can explore. And if you run out of ideas, make a list. We've got tons of these great lists and resources in our violin community, but there are so many different layers we can get to just with one pizzicato note, one open string note, one bowed note. That's your first tool. Tool number 2, melody is your map. you want to start with something you know, something you can hum, something you hear rolling around in your head. And it doesn't have to be the entire melody, the entire tune. It can be a little piece of it. Da da da, da da. You know, it could be as simple as da da, da da, da da. Right? Just a snippet, something that makes you smile, something that feels good in your body, and something you can sing. You'll hear it, you'll listen to it, you will sing it, and then you will play it. You know, improvisation is actually a conversation with that original melody, with the lyrics, if there were any, with the storytelling, with the harmony that is behind it. We are trying to actually have a conversation about it. And so if you start with a melody you know and gradually depart a little bit, add some variation, change the style, change the feel, change the rhythm, change the tempo, that kind of improvisation can feel super safe and secure and give you a way to start messing around, fiddling about, and it will be fun because you have a very clear jumping off point. Tool number 4, patterns and the iteration. Patterns, patterns, patterns. A pattern is just taking one snippet of information you know and figuring out how many different ways you can play it. So you've probably done this in math, right? If you have 3 numbers, 0, 1, and 2, what are the different combinations? And with music, we have different lengths of the notes. So 0, 1, 2 could be a fingering. It could be degrees of a scale and how long each of those notes are, whether we repeat them or not, whether it is ascending, descending, or mixed up. Starting with any 3 notes or 4 notes if you're a little bit more experienced. You can even do more than that if it feels resonant to you. But we want to vary the intensity, the tone, the intonation, the pitch, the position, the rhythm, the direction we're going, the register, the octave, and all the different tone colors we can get. But when you start iterating patterns in your body, so that your fingers are flying around and forgetting what you're doing with your fingers and really feeling the build or feeling the emotion or feeling the connection to the harmony, that is where it starts to feel really fun. So instead of picking a bunch of patterns or going over the top, pick one 3-note pattern or 4-note pattern that you like the sound of. Ba-da-da-ba. And then decide if you're going to go up with it or down with it or change your rhythm. Ba 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 ba, right? And once it gets into your fingers where they know what to expect, you can use this, the notes to memorize it or the finger pattern to memorize it, whatever your default is to make it feel right. And then you will start playing it all up and down the instrument, and playing that against chords is going to feel amazing. Tool number 5, scales and modes. A lot of us practice scales, but we think of it as this drudgery thing. Like, I got to play my scales before I play my piece. Okay, G major, now my piece in G major. The scale is the juicy bits that make up everything. It's how we construct melodies. It's how we construct chords later on by skipping notes of the scale. And it is totally underrated scale practice. I've got to tell you, if you're bored in your scale practice, then let's inject some humor and some life and some fun into it. One easy way to get started is to play your modes, not just your scale. So start with any 1-octave scale and then start on the next note, the second note, the third note, the fourth note, until you get all the way back to home. Play your scales and patterns. Groups of 2, groups of 3, groups of 4. Throw in some bowings, throw in some rhythms. Find a different position. Play them only on one string. Play them only in 1 octave. There are so many different ways that you can use scales to your advantage and have fun with them. Don't get stuck just in the classical routine of the Carl Flesch book or something else. You really want to be able to play them in multiple ways. I actually learned this from horn players when I was practicing in my master's degree, and I overheard some horn players practicing their patterns and scales. I was like, what? I had only ever practiced thirds ascending, going up ascending, and going down descending. And my mind was blown because da 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 da, then going down da 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 da, and I thought that was the only way to play thirds. I didn't really ever think about the fact like what direction is the interval going, and am I ascending or descending? I just played it and I had it memorized. I knew the finger pattern so I could play it in different places. But when I heard them practicing fourths and fifths and going up, up, and then up, down, and then down, up, and then down, down, I was like, whoa, mind blown. And that changed my way I practice scales. And it gave me so many fresh ideas for improvising and composing. So when you hear something that you like that sounds interesting, that's different than the way you practice, grab that. When you're around people that play other instruments, ask them, be curious. How do you practice? How do you do this? Because we want to keep building our toolbox, then share and connect with others, then test the waters and come back to the lab with our violins ready to be able to have fun practicing, because we are creating new music as we practice, not from out of thin air, not by waving a magic wand, but by using what we know in a way that is effective for us, and using what we know in a way that we can really connect our body, our mind, our spirit to the instrument that we love, the music that we love, and the journey that we're on. Improvisation isn't something you earn after mastering everything else. It's something that you get to practice with that will improve every single thing that you're working on. It changes how you hear, how you feel, how you see things, how you assimilate information, and how you're able to express. You have the tools now. The next step is to watch them be demonstrated, to do them yourself, to come and join a cohort, to put this into action. So you know all of the exercises, they're in the other episodes, but you want to do all of these slowly, out of time, out of tempo. That's number one thing to implement in 5 minutes. And then take the tool you're working with a backing track. That could be as simple as a drone. It could be one chord. It could be a jazz chord, or it could be a song that you love, a fiddle tune, something that you know the key of so that you can match it to the exercise or the note that you're working on, and go for it. Don't take another minute waiting or thinking about this. Just play it. So you came into this thinking maybe you couldn't improvise, or you didn't know where to start, or you felt like you didn't know how to really practice it. Now you do. Now you have a clear step-by-step method. And that is a wrap on this arc and season 3 of Music Rebels Rising podcast. I am super excited. We are on episode 71. I cannot believe we are approaching 100 episodes anytime now. And if this is landing, if this is feeling like it's clicking and you want to connect on a deeper level, come search us out, facebook.com/group/adultviolin. Remember, that free course is coming. And if you are in that group, you will have first access to it. Demonstration videos, audio, and worksheets to help you work through everything absolutely for free. I can't wait to share it with you. Your best music is on the other side. And I'll see you there.